that police discovered had ties to transnational criminal networks that span Mexico all the way to China. They are killing our people and many more in other countries, which is now endangering the trade with our closest ally. President Trump has threatened to tariff Canada because of what he says is lethal drug flows. But whether or not we agree with him should not matter. It should not take a foreign leader to get the Liberals to wake up to the drug crisis that they have caused here at home. It should have been enough that we lost 50,000 of our people. We should crack down on drugs, not to please President Trump, but to ensure that not one more mother has to bury her face in her hands on learning that her son died of an overdose in a back alley somewhere. We must stop drugs to save our people and put Canada first. It starts with locking up mass traffickers and manufacturers of this poison with penalties that fit the crime. But what is that crime? Let's call fentanyl trafficking what it is. Mass murder. Selling 40 milligrams of this poison is enough to kill 20 people. It's like spraying bullets into a crowd. You might not know who you're killing, but it's certain someone will die. That's why I'm denouncing today, as part of my Canada First plan, that common sense conservatives will bring mandatory prison sentences. There will be life sentences for anyone caught trafficking, producing, or exporting over 40 milligrams of fentanyl. 40 milligrams is enough to kill 20 people. Anyone who's involved in trafficking that amount of fentanyl will get a life sentence. We will lock them up and we will throw away the key.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 5 Pints Podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. And today, as you just seen in that little clip of Pierrepoilievre, he has come out and basically said that he is going to put drug dealers in jail. Round of applause, because I can't believe that hasn't been happening. Let's get into it. So Pierrepoilievre starts off by saying that there are over 50,000 Canadians who have died from drug overdoses. I'm not sure if that's overall or just in the past few years, but it has been a crisis like no other. Okay, we have such a drug problem in Canada. And what started off as something that seemed like a good idea, as I have studied true harm reduction, and true harm reduction usually does have a model that can work, but whatever the Liberals have done, it was half-assed, it was not done properly, and it has led to murder. Okay, it has led to people dying, overdosing, watching loved ones completely, like teenagers, because it's in the drugs, and teenagers die because it's in the drugs, and completely turned Canada into an unrecognizable country, truly. Because harm reduction is something that I advocate for, okay? I have given people methadone before, but when we had to give it to them before, it was in a safe environment and it was locked up, and they had to take it in front of me so they couldn't leave and sell it to children, okay? We know what can happen if we just give people a free supply of drugs and let them run free. That's not safe, nor is it reducing harm. It's actually causing a lot more harm than people really even think it is, okay? I have seen people cheering on the vending machines in British Columbia that have clean needles. A clean needle will only save you so many times before you overdose, just to let you know. I understand that there are a lot of people who have lost family members to drugs, and some have been convinced that maybe if they had a clean needle, they would still be here. And some honestly are very aware that the government is doing this to people and there's no option for them to get help, okay? And when we don't have sentences on things like drug dealers, there's no incentives to stop. Where is rock bottom for all of these people if not death? Okay? As far as I'm concerned, I don't think that jail is as bad of a place. I would rather see someone in jail or in rehab than dead. I don't understand how the Liberals have gone so pro-death. I genuinely don't know. I don't know when this shift happened, when you guys thought it was better to offer people MAID rather than get them help, okay? Why is it more accessible to reach MAID than literally any other course of action when it comes to treating an illness, chronic illness, a disease, anything? Does that make sense to any of you? Does it really make sense that we stopped putting people in jail for dealing drugs because I guess there was more people, indigenous people, who were in jail for doing that than the population would even out, okay? So instead of putting and implementing some sort of social programs and working with the indigenous communities, what did they do? They just let everybody go. You can basically commit any crime you want in Canada. I'm not even sure how there's people in jail right now because of the things that people are allowed to get away with, okay? Like, we had an incident in New Liskeard where I was delayed my trip down south because there was drug dealers here and they were shooting at the cops. That person's still alive. Back in my day, if you were shooting at cops, you're gone, okay? And that's how it should be, because what do you mean that they chased him and tased him after this person, by the way, shot into a house and took off someone's ear? Yeah. I can't believe we even need a leader to come out and have to say this, by the way. This should not be something that we even have to say. I can't believe that I was so brainwashed into thinking that the answer for making up, like, this is another DEI situation, you guys. This is DEI. Allowing people out back onto the streets over and over again because there's too many people of color, or instead of actually investing into those neighborhoods or places where you're seeing crime go up, as in like installing more social programs and stuff like that, you guys just let people out of jail. Does that sound like a good, solid plan to you guys? And I don't think Pierre's wrong when he says that these people are murderers. That is exactly what they are. Do you know how many Canadians have watched their loved ones die from a drug overdose because of the amount of fentanyl that we allow in this country, that they know about, that they just continue to allow in this country? The amount of things that are federal jurisdiction and the amount that the left says, this is provincial, this is healthcare, this is a federal problem because it's coming over our borders. Okay? And we need a leader who is clearly, I say clearly, he's right here on my computer, clearly going to step up and protect Canadians. That's what we need. Do you know how scary it is to have a child who is about to be a teenager knowing that they could go to a party and just smoke a normal, you know what, and there'll be fentanyl just in there? Because that's the Canada that we live in. It is so scary having a child right now for a multitude of things, whether it be the Liberals wanting to push MAID for mentally ill 12-year-olds, and I don't even have words, okay? They've tabled that, thank God, but the fact that that's even on the table is absurd to me. And I'm getting sick and tired of the CBC asking if we should suspend democracy to handle the border situation. What do you mean, don't give Canadians an election to have a say? If there's anything that we should have a say on, it is how our country is handled moving forward. Okay, you guys called an election during a deadly pandemic, quote, quote, deadly pandemic. There should be no reason why we can't have one right now. And as far as whoever's asking him that, like, should you forget about having an election right now? No. Canadians want an election now more than ever. Okay, you could always call back House of Commons, put a bill through to protect the borders and get done what needs to be done, and then literally put a non-confidence vote the next day. Okay, I'm sure there's ways to handle it, you guys. And you guys are just, the CBC is just mad because their funding's about to be cut and they're no longer going to be, like, you guys can't just turn off your engagement on YouTube. You have to have that on. It doesn't matter if you think people are going to disagree with you. If you want funding, if you want money from YouTube, turn on that engagement, okay? Because you're going to need it when all of our tax dollars no longer goes to you guys. How about that? I also love how Pierre is emphasizing that Carney has been involved with helping Trudeau put through all of these policies that have absolutely put carnage in our streets, okay? But Pierre's right at the end of that. He is so right, because Canada has not always been like this, and it will not always be like this. And we do not have to become a 51st state to be a thriving nation again, okay? I have been, I didn't move to America for a reason, okay? And if those of you who want to move to America and become the 51st state, I completely respect that, but I stayed in Canada for a reason. And by the way, you could probably move to America. I still have immigration calling me back being like, hey, are you still interested in coming to America? So it's really worth a try. But once again, thanks for watching my video, and it will be so nice to have a leader that not only unites us, but actually protects us from criminals, drugs, and all of the other things that a government is supposed to take care for you so you don't have to deal with it, right? Let's remember how great Canada was before Trudeau, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
I'm so very nervous.
I'm cracking down. And I'm cracking down hard. Starting right now, fun time is over.
So where was I for fun time?